There's the empty control tower there in the center of the shot. And as I widen out the shot, earlier we had lots of trucks moving around, lots of construction that has been taking place here at the airport for the last several months. And right now there is no one to be seen here at this time.
Breaking news to CNN on a story we've been tracking all afternoon. The air traffic control facility responsible for flights approaching and departing Nashville International Airport are set to close for 5 hours tonight because of short staffing. The Federal Aviation Administration says that flights will still be allowed to continue flying during the closure, but pilots are going to have to contact the Regional Air Traffic Control Center for permission to enter the airspace.
So the reason being given for the staff shortage, that's not immediately clear. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, though, did say on Monday an increased number of controllers have been calling out sick since the start of the shutdown. So we'll continue to follow all of those developments.
All right, let's talk travel, shall we? You know, that thing that we used to do without wondering if the people in charge of airline safety were competent and not former reality TV stars.
Shut it down and affect our airspace, our controllers. Again, it's a huge problem. And again, Burbank, 0 controllers came to work. I don't support that. They should come to work. They're supposed to come to work. But they didn't miss a paycheck yet. So why aren't they coming to work? I mean, it's only been 6 days. So, the paycheck, the pay.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Or that a government meltdown would strand us in an airport terminal. Well, as a result of the current shutdown, reminder by the way, government shutdowns have become somewhat of a recurring feature of Republican presidencies. The last major one, back when Trump was in office between 2018 and 2019 over funding for the border wall. It was the longest shutdown in US history that cost billions. Well, now airports across the country are in chaos. The Federal Aviation Administration is strained to breaking point. Air traffic control staffing has been cut in some regions by up to 50%. Flights are delayed in droves from Newark to Denver, Phoenix, Vegas, Burbank. Yes, one night at Burbank, the control tower went completely unmanned for 6 straight hours.
There's the empty control tower there in the center of the shot. And as I widen out the shot, earlier we had lots of trucks moving around, lots of construction that has been taking place here at the airport for the last several months. And right now there is no one to be seen here at this time. Now, as I move the shot over to the left here is where we had a line of planes earlier that were just waiting for permission from SoCal TRACON to take off. And you can see that they're all gone here at this point. So the last Delta plane just took off about a minute ago or so. And since then, we haven't seen anyone else taxiing in an effort to go anywhere. So again, things very quiet here at Burbank Airport. And again, it's not completely unknown for an airport to operate without a tower controller. Where we fly out of Whiteman Airport, there's no control tower person between the hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. But to have it happen here at a commercial airport is out of the ordinary. So again, you can expect delays here at Burbank Airport and throughout other airports throughout the country.
Now let's be clear here. Controllers and TSA officers are essential workers. They still show up. They still do the job, except now they're forced to work without pay.
Is it the White House's position that furloughed workers should be paid for their back pay?
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. President, why do you say some federal workers should not get their back pay? Why do you say some?
Well, you're going to have to figure that out, okay? Ask the Democrats that question.
Mr. President, just to follow up there, I mean, the law says that when the government is reopened, that workers will receive their back pay. So are you going to defy the law there, or what are you hoping?
I follow the law. And what the law says is correct, and I follow the law.
And there's already anxiety about paychecks vanishing, especially in a climate where the cost of living is going up, pricing is going up, and economic turmoil just seems to be the day-to-day norm.
We did just get the ADP jobs data, and the number is down 32,000 jobs in the month of September versus an expectation of a gain of 50,000 jobs for the month of September. So worse than expected. Markets were down going into the number and remained lower.
report. And let's just review what we got, because as Rick said, very disappointing. It was a weak number. So this is private sector jobs. Total comes in negative 32,000. And that was a surprise because economists were looking for an increase of 51,000. It's the biggest monthly drop since March 2023. Also, the revision was not good. August was revised down sharply. The month now showing, as you can see, or actually can't see, but August goes down to negative 3,000 compared to the initial read of 54,000. There's the August revision. So 2 weak months in a row. If you look, private sector payrolls have now dropped in 3 of the last 4 months, according to ADP. And if you look beneath the surface, you can see where the job losses were. Small and medium-sized businesses saw bigger declines than large businesses, which actually saw job growth. But guys, if you take the report and you compare it, some people say, oh, it's not really correlated with the government jobs report. Well, the reason I think that people are paying attention to it today is, first of all, we're not going to likely get that government jobs report on Friday, but also look at the correlation. I mean, the direction is in the right mode. Like they dip at the same time, they rise at the same time. I think it gives you a good sense, at the very least, of the trend on job growth. This is ADP private sector versus the traditional monthly jobs report that we get on Friday, where the market pays really close attention to. So I think it's a good indication that the labor market is softening.
However, according to reports, an estimated 13,000 air traffic controllers and 61,000 TSA staff are expected to continue working even without pay throughout the shutdown. I mean, isn't this indicative of the current administration forcing people to do this? To run an airline system without resources, without staff, and without compensation. And think back to 2018, 2019, when a long shutdown saw FAA cutbacks, terminals shuttered, TSA officers absent, and the worst delays in years. Well, now it appears that we are seeing the sequel, only it's more disastrous considering the architects have even more power, but are still unable to run a functioning government.
It is true that in previous shutdowns, many or most of them have been paid for the time that they were furloughed. But there is new legal analysis. I don't know the details. I just saw a headline this morning. I'm not read in on it, and I haven't spoken to the White House about it. But there are some legal analysts who are saying that that may not be appropriate or necessary in terms of the law requiring that back pay be provided. So I'm sure that'll be there will be a lot of discussion about that. But there are legal analysts who think that that is not something that government should do. That, if that is true, that should turn up the urgency and the necessity of the Democrats doing the right thing here. Even more pain, more than I just listed, for more people. So we got to figure it out. Back row.
Which brings us to the question, right? Who's responsible? Well, the polling is already tilting.
1% say Trump and the Republicans in Congress. 30% say Democrats in Congress. 23% not sure. This is 1,010 adults reached by text on October 1st. And then the other part of this, which is what this whole shutdown is about, these federal subsidies for healthcare. Here's what people say about that. 71% of the country wants to extend healthcare subsidies. 29% wants it ended as scheduled. It would end in January, and in some cases, premiums would triple to unaffordable highs for many, 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 many Americans. Vaughn?
I mean, when nearly half the country is pointing at you, not necessarily the Senate or Washington in general, but you specifically, that is telling of the current state of affairs.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.